The first explorers came to the Indonesian archipelago in search of mysterious jungles populated by dragons and one-horned animals. Natives on the island of Java told them of fearsome animals that hid deep in the jungle and ate anything that moved. This macaque opens his eyes wide. He seems to be aware that he's being watched. As indeed he is, by this giant monitor lizard known as the Komodo dragon. The dragon does seem perilous, so I'm going to keep my distance too. This banteng feels the same way and takes off with a start. I'm not surprised. The Komodo dragon is the world's largest lizard. They grow up to 10 feet long and weigh around 175 pounds. The dragon is a voracious animal with an excellent sense of smell. It uses its tongue to pull in the particles in the air that make up scents. Dragons adore eating young animals, including even the young of their own species. That's why many young dragons climb up into the trees for safety. The people of these villages leave out their dead animals to feed the dragons. To some extent, this helps them avoid even worse problems. Throughout history, adults and children who wandered too far have disappeared and never been heard from again. After hearing some of these stories, I try not to stray too far from my cabin. At one time, the dragons hunted, but now they mostly eat domestic animals. This dragon has smelled something. It's a dead goat. The lizard hurries over to eat it. They can eat great quantities at one sitting, and once they do so, they may wait a long time before eating again, luckily for us. More than one of the Komodos has smelled the goat. No problem, there's goat enough to go around. Their jaws are strong enough to sever tendons and bones. But they miss out on this wild pig. It's fast enough to get away from them. The dragons are a protected species now, and they survive on a few islands such as Rinca and Komodo. Now to the land of a different kind of lizard. This part of the Western Sahara is called Sahrawi. Here, the lizards are magical and children play with them. While the lizards may be different, a wedding is a wedding wherever it may be. And this is Sukyena's wedding. The groom's parents and relatives are arriving at the tent encampment where the bride's parents live. One of their entertainments is to try to steal each other's kerchiefs. It's a primitive game of Berber origins that involves some amount of pushing and shoving. Those who finally end up with the kerchief run away, lifting it high into the wind. The bride's family welcomes the relatives of the groom. They bring rugs and tablecloths for the haima, or tent, of Shelek, Sukyena's future husband. It is customary for the groom to have his own haima. Inside, they will chat about their journey, and of course, about the dowry. A justice of the peace will recognize the dowry arrangements and read the matrimonial precepts from the Quran. Although they are now man and wife, their marriage is not complete until they are under the same roof in the same haima. No wedding bells for them. One of the witnesses will go outside to shoot once into the air and startle me out of my wits. Now that they're married, the Sahrawi women will ululate to spread the news. These calls are a way of expressing joy. Shellech's friends offer to go fetch his bride. In the meantime, the women put on Sukiena's makeup amid nervous laughter. They apply henna and cover her with a sheet, pretending to hide her from the man who is already her husband. Any respectable wedding has to include large trays of camel meat with rice. Inside the Khaima, the party begins. The Sahrawi love to read love poetry aloud. Then they dance uninhibitedly for hours. The bride will dance with abandon to the rhythm of drums and the women's ululations. The black kerchief on her head is proof that she's no longer single.